Hey everybody, Tim here for tonight's episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. I'm going to be doing these 2 episodes at a time so I can kind of blitz through them. So tonight we are starting with Season 3, Episode 3, Mining in the Mind's Mines. You have no idea how many takes it took for me to actually get that, so I'm kind of proud of myself. Super happy to be back on Lower Decks. I love Lower Decks. I think it's great. Some of the best Star Trek there is. But what makes Lower Decks so good is if you've seen like earlier Star Trek, because it just builds upon itself. A completely different example that has nothing to do with this is my husband Jordan and I, one time we were watching Family Guy, and this is years ago, and they made a joke. I think it was the knife took the life of the wife episode. And Jordan just starts laughing, and I was like, "Do you even get that?" And he's like, "Yeah, because they're stabbing him, and it's rhyming." And I was like, "No, like it's a musical reference. The rain falls mainly in the plains." And so I was like, "Oh my god!" Like people are laughing at jokes that they don't get, and so that like went down a whole wormhole. Now I am 100% sure that people who have not seen Star Trek can still watch Lower Decks and appreciate it, because Lower Decks is great. But I do feel like having that knowledge of Star Trek prior really builds upon it. And this is a great episode of that. Of course, we got the A storyline, the B storyline, they kind of combine at the end. So for Tendi, she's doing the senior science officer training, which I thought was like, okay, didn't really care. And then you got the older captain, the younger captain kind of fighting, stuff like that. I was like, moving along. The meat of the episode is who is it? It's Mariner, Boimler, Rutherford are on the planet, and they have to move fantasy stones, and it makes your fantasies come out. Rutherford's made me laugh the most because it's Leah Brahms, who is from Star Trek The Next Generation. Great episode. Geordi like makes a hologram of this woman and falls in love with her. And then she finds out. The real one finds out. So great references all around. Really digging it. They also bring up, Panisi Squares, which again is a Next Generation, I think, reference. If I remember right, the first time it was brought up was when Riker was meeting his dad. They bring up the hot Andorian girlfriend for Mariner. Now, it's been a long time since I've watched Lower Decks, and memories I'm drunk. It is what it is. I don't remember her having a girlfriend or anything about that. So I was like, oh, is this new for the season? So whatever. It was fresh for me, and I was like, that's cool. Once it becomes like the nightmare, I loved it. I wanted to pause it and look at every single reference, but I didn't. I just let it keep going. The 2 that stuck out the most were the Borg snakes and the Klingon clowns, which sounds like Legends of the Hidden Temple type fucking shit. But overall, I loved it. The whole other subplot of them working with another crew, and it ends up they're competing against each other. I loved where they're like, oh, you're not like super famous. You're not famous across the fleet, but you're like California class famous. You're the Enterprise of support ships, I think was the line that I really, really liked. And then the big twist is it turns out that these people that they were supposed to be doing a meeting, like a treaty, are actually working together and trying to overhear the captain's plans. So stuff, I loved it. I thought it was a great little episode. They cram so much into 20 minutes. It's impressive. No time to waste right off the bat. Season 3, Episode 4, Room for Growth. Right off the bat, as I just said, loved all the references. It starts with Captain Freeman wearing a mask episode, which is a great reference to a Next Generation episode that I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called. That's a joke. Don't leave me 100 comments. It's masks. Still, absolutely loved it. Thought it was great. The engineering mandatory vacation was great. That's the A and B storyline. That's one of the storylines. And just Captain Freeman and the entire engineering crew go on this mandatory like relaxation spa to the Dove, which is owned by an Endosian. Anytime I see an Endosian, I get so happy. I mean, it's been like 40 fucking years since the animated series. We need Endosians everywhere. So super happy to see that. And then like just throughout that story, like that one was kind of the B storyline to me, because the engineers like fake being happy, just because that's what makes them happy. And then the whole little contraption that they put Freeman in at the end, I was like, what did that do to her? And then of course, like job security, the Endosian's like, fuck that, get it out of here. So I like that. I guess the A storyline is the team think that 4 quarters are opening up on deck 1. And so of course Boimler, Tendi, and Mariner want to go for it, and then of course bring Rutherford along later because he's off on his spa day. And then it's just like little adventures that they go on because they're trying to beat a rival shift. Now, as somebody who has done retail for 15 years, and even after I did retail, I was done with retail and I went on to like warehouse work, there's always the day shift versus night shift bullshit, and it's so tiring. Even at one of the stores I worked at, I started at night shift and transferred to day shift, and still, it's just the fighting goes on. So to watch this, I was like, I feel you, like I get it. The scariest part of this whole thing was fucking Shax and Dr. Ta'ana doing their Bonnie and Clyde, no safety rules, black and white holodeck shit. And I was like, it was terrifying. But at the same time, I wanted more. So it is what it is. Then at the very end, they realize it's not 4 rooms on deck 1. It's 1 room on deck 4. Common mistake. I've made that mistake. Still, loved it. I love the whole brainy, they're like, no, all for one. And they give it up. And then they realize that Team Delta just put all 4 of their beds in 1 room. And I was like, that seems a little weird. But I mean, if you've been in bunk beds this whole time anyway, it would make sense. I just feel like, I don't know, smaller quarters or something. I wouldn't do it. It's like either be completely miserable or completely great. 4 beds in 1 room seems in the middle, and it seems terrible. But then, of course, Rutherford's the voice of reason, where he's like, that's literally what we should have done. So overall, loved it. I'm super excited to be back on Lower Decks. I'm sad that there's not much. I know the series is already over. So, I don't know, maybe me taking 2 episodes at a time is just going to destroy it faster, but it is what it is. I like it. I have fun. So, curious what you guys are thinking way back. I know this is years and years and years ago for most of you. So, go ahead, let me know, and I will see you guys next time.